Taehyung prepares the biggest fashion show. The fashion world is ready to be amazed. Hello BTS fans. A storm is coming, and his name is Kim Taehyung. The fashion world has seen its icons. It has seen elegance walk down the runways of Milan, the boldness of Paris, the sharp lines of New York. But what it's about to witness is not just fashion. It's a revolution. And at the center of it all stands one man. Kim Taehyung. A man known for redefining beauty. A man whose presence can silence stadiums. And now, he is about to silence the entire world of fashion. The whisper that started it all. It began with a whisper. A vague rumor. A blurry image of Taehyung entering a discreet building in Paris, accompanied by bodyguards and men in tailored suits. At first, fans thought it was just another luxury brand meeting. But the truth was far more daring. Taehyung wasn't just endorsing fashion. He was creating it. Behind closed doors, hidden from cameras, he had been working tirelessly for months. Sketching. Designing. Crafting a vision that was never meant to just follow trends, but destroy and reinvent them. This wasn't just a fashion line. It was a full-blown fashion show. And not just any show. A global event that would unite artists, models, musicians, and designers from every corner of the world. A masterpiece in motion. Why now? Why would Taehyung, in the middle of his military service break, take on something this massive? Because art doesn't wait. Because inspiration doesn't sleep. And because Taehyung, true to his essence, is never still when it comes to beauty. Some say he was inspired by dreams. Others claim it was his time in Paris before enlistment that ignited the vision. But close friends revealed something deeper. This was personal. This is something he's been carrying in his heart for years, a source said. It's not about being a celebrity. It's about being an artist. The preparations begin. Fashion insiders were stunned when anonymous invites started to circulate. No brand. No logos. Just a deep violet card with embossed gold text. He walks, the world watches. Paris. Winter 2025. Location, to be announced. At first, people dismissed it as an experimental campaign. But as days passed, the dots began to connect. Multiple renowned fashion houses cancelled, or delayed their own shows for scheduling conflicts. Taehyung was seen meeting with global stylists. Armies noticed cryptic messages on his fan platforms. V is for vision. Winter is not cold when it burns with art. Then the confirmation came. Kim Taehyung was hosting his own fashion show. Beyond clothes, a storyteller on the runway. But Taehyung's vision wasn't about just showing clothes. He wanted every piece to tell a story. Each segment of the show was based on an emotion. Innocence. Longing. Rebirth. Chaos. Serenity. Models wouldn't just walk, they would perform. There would be live music. Strings composed by Taehyung himself. There would be silent dance. Poetry. Soundscapes of distant memories. And as the grand finale approached, rumors say Taehyung would appear, not in a suit, but in his own creation. A piece representing the soul of his journey. Global frenzy, the world reacts. As news broke, social media exploded. #Taehyung Fashion Show trended in over 70 countries. Fashion bloggers flew to Paris without confirmation of the venue. Luxury brands sent representatives just to be near the whispers of the show. Even Hollywood stars joined the waiting list. Designers like Alexander McQueen's team, Saint Laurent insiders, and Chanel creative leads were all rumored to be attending. What does this mean for fashion? The world was about to find out. Who is invited? According to leaks, the guest list includes top global models, handpicked by Taehyung himself. BTS members, if schedules allow. Personal fashion icons of Taehyung from past interviews. artists, dancers, even traditional Korean performers. Selected armies, chosen for their loyalty and creativity. But the most exclusive seat. The front row, reserved for those who inspired the designs. People who changed Taehyung's life. People we may never know by name. But whose stories would walk the runway through cloth, light, and sound. The night of the show. The location? Still secret. Some say it's an abandoned opera house. Others suggest it's on a moving train, transforming the journey into the show itself. Whatever the truth is, one thing is certain. When the curtain lifts, fashion will never be the same. And Taehyung. He will no longer be called an idol. Or even a fashion icon. He will be remembered as a visionary. A pioneer. A man who dared to wear his soul on fabric. And make the world feel something again. When beauty meets bravery, the night fashion found its heart. When you hear his name now, you think of beauty. Of art. Of quiet rebellion. You think of soft eyes framed by a gaze that sees through the noise. Of elegance that doesn't beg for attention but commands it anyway. Of a presence so gentle, yet so powerful, it shifts the mood of an entire room. You think of Kim Taehyung. A man who doesn't just wear fashion. He tells stories with every thread. A silent poet on a loud stage. But after this night, after the lights dim, the crowd hushes, and the curtain rises, you'll think of something more. You'll think of courage. Not the kind found in battlefields or news headlines. But the kind that blooms in silence. The kind that walks into a world built on conformity, and dares to be different. You'll remember the night fashion remembered its soul. Because on that runway, not just any runway but his runway, Kim Taehyung didn't merely walk. He breathed life into the fabric. He challenged what it meant to be beautiful. He became the moment. There were no screams. No flashing signs. No chaos. Just silence. And in that silence, fashion listened. Designers froze mid-breath. Celebrities leaned forward. Cameras held their focus. Not because of the outfit. Not because of the styling. But because of him. Because Taehyung, with every slow step and steady gaze, reminded the world of something it had forgotten. That fashion is not about excess. It's about essence. That art doesn't shout. It whispers. And that true style doesn't follow trends. It creates them. He wore black. But he wasn't hiding. He stood tall. But he wasn't demanding. He simply was. And in that being, he told a story. A story of vulnerability. Of strength. Of poetry stitched into silk and soul. So now, we ask you. Open your eyes. Hold your breath. Because what's coming is not just a show. It's a shift. A transformation. A moment so quiet, yet so monumental, that the world will have no choice but to stop and feel. Because once Kim Taehyung takes that final step, once the lights go out and the echoes of his presence linger, the fashion world will never look the same again.